Good morning. Now, normally I start these videos with a funny joke or something, but these aren't really funny times. As many of you have probably seen personally, there are a lot of people that are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And I cannot believe that I've seen many of them on my own personal Facebook. I had one of my friends actually block me. I didn't talk to the man, didn't say a word to him. But I think some of them are scared. You see, some of these people are teachers. And it's high time we cancel the left. Now, I don't mean do anything bad or harassment-wise. I'm saying that if you know people that have these kind of opinions, that are willing to celebrate death because they don't agree with someone, they don't deserve to be teachers. Screenshot what they've said. Send it to the school district. Call them out. Get them fired. It's time that we do to them what they've done to us with cancel culture. It's time cancel culture worked for us. These people should not be teaching children. If they are happy about death, I don't want kids to know that that's a good thing to do. That's terrible. These people need to be reported and removed from their jobs. I'm not saying anything else. That we are not like the left. We are not going to resort to violence, but we are willing, at least I'm willing, to screenshot these things and report them to their bosses, to the school district, and say, these people are unsafe. They need Jesus. That's what they need. And I don't want them leading children astray. I just can't believe that the world's come to this kind of thing, though. You know, a long time ago, it was, I disagree with you, but I'm willing to die for your right to say what you say. And it's a terrible quote. I know it's Voltaire, but I butcher the quote every time I say it. I don't know why. 20 years ago, they still called Republicans, the R word, and they thought we were evil, but they'd at least not want us to die. What happened to the disagreements between the left and the right, where it was simply just, well, we really should have a 35% tax rate and not the 25% tax rate so we can provide more services. What happened to that? What happened to, I think the government should pay for healthcare, or no, I think private enterprise should pay for healthcare because it's better organized and better effective at providing healthcare? What happened to, I want a smaller military, or I want a bigger military to make sure we're safe? The biggest divisive thing in my time was the gay marriage thing. I don't think that the government should allow people to do that. I'm a Christian. I can't do that. I'm a Christian. I never voted for it. Still wouldn't if it was today. Although these days I've leaned more libertarian. See how views change. I still think it's wrong, but I also don't think the government should tell you what to do. What happened to being able to come to that kind of conclusion? Whatever happened to people looking at something and going, maybe we can come to a middle ground somehow? And that is lost on these leftists. They're not looking for the middle ground. They're so far left that it's either you're 100% with them or you're the enemy. Clearly the enemy. And they killed the one guy who was actually wanting to have a nice sit-down conversation with you. He would actually provide you the reasons why he believes what he believes. This is the facts that back up my beliefs and, challenge me on it. Now, granted, he was there probably to change your mind. Much like Steven Crowder would be there to change your mind. He doesn't want you to change his. And I think Charlie Kirk did a far better job of debating people than Steven Crowder ever did. Sorry if you're a Steven Crowder fan. I think he's a little he's kind of mean when he does debates. Charlie Kirk wasn't that way. I never really was subscribed to Charlie Kirk. I knew of him. I've seen videos and clips like most people. I think the most I ever watched was when he was on the Whatever podcast. And I didn't watch the whole thing. Those things are very long. Sorry if you like him, but dang, that's too long to watch. But I saw him on there. I was like, okay, let's see what he has to say. And he was kind to those women. You know, he was far more prepared to defend his ideas than those women ever were. And he would give them the benefit of the doubt. He assumed that they had good intentions. He assumed that they were just, you know, either misguided or had bad information. And that's a good way to come to an argument. Instead of assuming that the other side is out to get you, which sadly enough they were for him, you just go in there and assume that they have the best intentions and they're just wrong. And maybe you can enlighten them. And maybe, just maybe, you might come out learning something yourself. It's really sad what's happening in the world. And you go to anyone that you go to leftist pages that aren't even political. I saw a comic book Facebook page that I follow that makes videos on YouTube, and they announced that, you know, hey, praying for the families and everything, and, you know, very vanilla, very, you know, barely care post. And, you know, some people don't know the man or didn't know of him, and just kind of sad that happened. That's fine. I mean, you don't, not everyone knows everybody and is going to be as affected, you know. You lose somebody close to you, you care a whole lot more than, you know, your fifth cousin that doesn't know who they are. I mean, it's sad, but they still care that you're sad, kind of. But on that post, it was full, almost 100% of people just celebrating and saying, basically, he deserved it. No, he didn't deserve it. No one deserves that. And, you know, I think Charlie Kirk would even say that the person who shot him didn't deserve it. Now, I can't speak for him, but knowing what I know about him and his Christian faith, he wouldn't wish that on the person who murdered him. And that goes to show you what kind of person he would have been, what he was. And had he survived, I guarantee you he would have sat down with that guy and prayed with him. Granted, he probably had to do it through some bulletproof glass or something, but he would have sat down and prayed with him. And if you ever wonder if you're on the wrong side, look how the side you're on treats their enemies. Charlie Kirk would have never done anything mean to that guy. And most of the right, while they are very angry, you don't see us burning down cities. You don't see us torching cars. You don't see us doing anything like that. It's not who we are. Maybe it's time, if you're watching and you happen to somehow be on the left and you watch 8 minutes of a video that isn't on your side, maybe you should reconsider what side you're on. Because I don't know how I could be on a side that celebrates death. I wonder how you can be on a side like that. I've seen a few people even post that they're leaving the left now because of this. Charlie Kirk, in his last moments, was able to change some minds. And maybe these people will find Jesus. And one day they'll see him again in heaven. And Charlie Kirk would state that was his goal. He wanted to make heaven crowded. If you were able to watch his wife speak last night, you would have heard her echo that exact same quote. God help that woman. I could not do what she does. Now, granted, she may have been crying for the last 2 days and couldn't cry another tear, but she stood up there and held it together and gave a full speech. I urge you to check it out. If you want to know what kind of man he was, she's a good person to listen to. I mean, it gets me every time because, you know, she talks about how their 3-year-old would run up to him all the time, and now she had to tell her 3-year-old daughter why daddy wasn't coming home. He's on a business trip with Jesus. And if you're the kind of monster that thinks that this is okay, you're not. I don't know how I don't know how I can talk to you. No one can change your mind on the value of human life. You have evil in your heart. You need to get checked, because evil will consume you totally. But back to my original point, people who have that kind of evil in their heart should not be teachers. So if you notice and see them post anything, screenshot it, because I will delete it. My friend deleted his, and I didn't say a word to him. I posted on my Facebook that I'd be screenshotting and basically I'd be reporting these people to their superiors. So, if you know teachers that hold these kind of views, report them. Call the school district. Ask them why you have a teacher that is holding these beliefs around children. Tell them you don't feel safe. Because honestly, if you hold these kind of beliefs, I don't feel safe around you. And that's an honest thing to say. If you want to celebrate it, it means anybody who holds Charlie's beliefs, even partially, is worthy of death. And that's just not right. Everybody should have the chance to live a full life. But that was taken from him. He had 2 small children. And yet these people celebrate. Normally the right says not to cancel people. We don't do that. It's high time we did. Anyway, I'll leave it there. And keep his family in your prayers. I'm not sure what they're doing with Turning Point USA, whether they're going to be accepting donations to help them through this, because I don't know how the company's going to survive without their leader. I hope they do. They do a lot of good things. And remember, I'm not calling you to harass anybody. I'm not saying harass, do anything bad. I'm simply saying report the evils that you see to their bosses and let them decide what to do. But make sure they know that these people are scary, because they are. But remember, Charlie Kirk would want you to be kind to them. But as the left says, actions do have consequences. So, if that means losing their job, maybe that'll be the wake-up call they need. Anyway, don't harass, be nice, be kind. Charlie wouldn't like you to do anything other than that. But report them to their bosses. Anyway, have a blessed day, and we'll see you next time.